eating habits and workout habits. A lot of people think you can go and eat anything because you're running and you're walking. So how you feel about that, life coach, like a wellness trainer?
Um, we have this saying, you can't out exercise a bad diet.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do it. You can you can exercise every day if you want to for an hour and a half, and then if you go home and have a bowl of ice cream, you just destroyed it.
Right.
You destroyed it. You
Right.
might as well just had stayed home and finished eating a whole gallon of ice cream. That's that's the size of it.
Well, you're gonna feel good, but then after you eat it, because you're gonna feel good eating it, but after you finish, and then you're gonna have that side effect, like, why did I eat that? Because you're gonna
Uh-huh.
feel so sluggish. So
Right.
how do you feel about that, Miss DT?
Yeah, there is this uh, proven uh,
Mm-hmm.
record that any diet is any if you're trying to lose weight, right? It's 80% diet and 20% exercise. So so that right there defines, if you are if you are exercising and but then having a bowl of ice cream,
Right.
that it just counteracts
Right.
your efforts.
Mm-hmm.
So like Mike was saying, you might as well just sit at home and enjoy that bowl of ice cream
Mm-hmm.
rather than trying to lose weight. But there would be, I would say that, sometimes we might want to indulge, and that's okay. But that should be like very occasionally. So you still get your cravings taken care of. Hello.
Hey, how y'all doing?
So we have Jay Jackson official in the house. He is a coach and he is the number one aggressive fat loss expert. So we're gonna get to you, but we're gonna continue the conversation. So back to you.
All
Okay.
right. So yeah, so I was just saying that, it's also important to indulge in your cravings
Mm-hmm.
once in a while, but be consistent with your diet for the most part, so
Mm-hmm.
that you are able to be on track and get everything addressed. Like you can still lose weight, you can still address your cravings, and you can
Mm-hmm.
exercise, and you can do everything. That's my take on it.
So Jay Jackson official. All right. So we was just talking about how a lot of people think that you can eat whatever you want just because you're at the gym all the time. And people don't understand your eating habits and your workout life has to be one. So what's your
100%.
take on that?
Yeah, that's one of the big misconceptions that I see a lot. Like a lot of people, they think they can outwork poor nutrition habits,
Mm-hmm.
and that's one of the biggest reasons people they go to the gym faithfully. I see it all the time, and y'all probably do too. People that hit the cardio, go cardio crazy,
Mm-hmm.
and like they look on the scale, they look in the bathroom mirror at their reflection, weeks if not months later, but zero change. You're like, man,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
what's going on here? What's the issue? I'm working out, I'm doing
Mm-hmm.
cardio, I'm lifting weights, but one of the fastest ways to actually see better results is the nutrition.
Right.
A lot of my members, they drop 20, 25, 30, 35 pounds in 12 weeks because they're not killing themselves in the gym. Like they lift, they do some cardio, but the primary driver of the results is the nutrition. And
Mm-hmm.
so, yeah, nutrition is critical, not just quality food either, but also the quantity.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Maleko, your take on that?
that is true. My thing is a little bit different than um, personal trainer when I'm into wellness. So
Mhm.
all of that is tied in together, but I also say the mind has to be right before you eat
Mm-hmm.
any of it. If you're going to eat good and exercise good and sleep good, but then your mind is not there, then you're going to go in
Right.
Mhm.
an ever-ending cycle of where you're going to start and then
Mm-hmm.
start again, then stop. You can keep doing it, keep doing it. So that person's mind is not there. And
Right.
you realize that, your problem with yourself, understanding yourself and what you're trying to do, you can kind of get your head right around it, wrap around it. And then, just like my brother said there, you can concentrate on what you need to do as far as physically, what you need to eat, how you need to go
Mhm.
about it. And you got to get that sleep too. You got to get sleep.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Once you figure all that out, I was looking at one of Jay's videos one time. It was a while back. I think it was last year. And
Hmm.
saying you have to condition yourself. You have to condition yourself. If you can't condition yourself, you're just gonna be stuck in that one place, man. And you're gonna be trying to figure it out. Like, what am I doing? What am I doing? And it's just nothing is happening.
In
Yeah,
there.
Right. Yep.
going around in a circle like a rabid dog. You're just going round, round, round circle, and nothing will change. And you'll be looking like you did the following year, like you did last year. It's the same.
Right.
Yep.
Mhm.
That's
Right.
100%.
That's good.
Right.
Yeah.
And people don't
So
understand that, and then they give up. Their mind not there. They give up already again. They give up again.
yeah, I mean it's mentally because you can lose the weight, but keeping it off. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's really mentally because you have to say to yourself, well, let me just say this. A lot of people get to that point because something is going on wrong in their body, and then they have to go to the hospital. And so this is where diabetes and a lot of other disease come in. So the reason why I wanted to have this conversation with all of you guys to help somebody before they get to the hospital.
Yeah, yeah.
So Miss Deep D, please talk to us about diabetes.
Sure. So it was a great discussion that we started with. And I agree that whatever changes or whatever diet we are going to, in the route of
Mm-hmm.
should be, I believe in lifestyle changes because I'm a lifestyle coach, certified lifestyle coach. So that's what I strive to do, to make those changes help them make the changes.
Right.
So they are good to go even after they're done with my sessions. They are, they are good to go on their own. So diabetes, pre-diabetes, this is all a huge thing now these days.
It is.
And pre-diabetes is actually, we are seeing a lot more cases of pre-diabetes these days, and it's actually a serious condition, believe it or not, because it will eventually lead to type 2 diabetes
Mm-hmm.
and stroke, heart conditions, heart attacks, that kind of thing. So it is very important for us to take control of that.
Right.
But what causes prediabetes? Um, so most of us know that insulin is the hormone that helps in regulating our blood sugars.
Mm-hmm.
And so what happens with prediabetes is that the pancreas are trying to create more insulin because insulin is not able to keep up with the sugar levels in our body. And so it's working harder and harder, and eventually it gives up. So when it gives up is when we have diabetes. So right now, pre-diabetes is a condition where you are almost there, but not there yet. So we have
Hmm.
a very good chance of reversing it, and not getting diabetes.
Okay.
So
So what are the foods do you recommend your clients to eat?
so for pre-diabetes, it's a little tricky in the sense that you wouldn't know that you have pre-diabetes, like I said. Um, but one in three adults in America right now has pre-diabetes, and most of them, like 80% of them, don't even realize they have it unless they have like a blood work done.
Right.
So what foods, once you know you are pre-diabetic, so once they do the blood work and you know you are pre-diabetic, you would be focusing more on eating whole grains, which is, whole grains are more good sources of fiber, good sources of minerals. And so that whole grains is definitely what I would recommend. Anything white, so like white rice, bread, pasta, that would be you have to put a stop on it and
Mm-hmm.
go for everything brown rice, whole grain bread, or brown whole grain pasta, that kind of thing, and control your portions. So those are the changes. And again, it is individualized. It depends on each client.
Mm-hmm.
Some may just need a little bit of exercise. Some may need a full diet modification. So I would be working with each individual, it's again personalized. But bottom line is exercise is also very important in controlling blood sugars.
Yeah.
Uh, yes. And of course, the diet. So,
Right.
both go hand in hand as far as diabetes goes, both go hand in hand.
So
Wonderful.
Mhm.
and that's the question. The two brothers at the bottom. Let's get into the exercise.
Oh, okay. Next question. I'm sorry, I didn't see the question.
So, what if you have somebody that is diabetic or have heart issues and they come to you and they say, "Hey, I want to move my body. What are the things that, do I need to do to move my body that I'm safe doing?"
Okay, so I mean, as far as exercise, I would, if they have heart conditions or something like that, I would refer them to Marshall.
Martin J. Jackson.
Yeah.
Go.
So
My brothers at the bottom. Let's get
I
it.
share that one. I'm gonna do part one of it, and then I guess he can do the other part of it.
Cool, cool.
I do an analysis of them. Of course, I talk to them and ask them how their condition is progressing. Whereas if they're having tingling in their toes or fingers or things of that sort, because sometimes a diabetic condition may bring about some of those issues with them. So I have to be sure to ask them if they're not having any type of diabetic reaction to certain things, because some people may not be able to squat down because it hurts their feet or hurt their toes or some things like that. They may not be able to squat down all the way. So it depends with me on their analysis and how far along the diabetes symptom, if they're having any symptoms, and if they're experiencing any pain with that will help me to determine what we'll be able to do. So each individual person is a little bit different,
Mm-hmm.
and I have to probably stop right at that point as far as doing the exercise. And I'm gonna let Jay take over from there.
Oh, Jay.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's a case by case basis. Some people could be a little bit further along than others. I'm actually not a diabetic specialist.
Mm-hmm.
I'm more so specializing in like fat loss, like giving people
Mm-hmm.
a lot of fat loss. But just in general, I do recommend speaking to somebody, not just buying some PDF diet plan you found on Instagram or on YouTube just because the person looked fit. You want to talk to somebody who's willing to understand your situation and what conditions you have right now. What type of medications are you on? What's the dosage? How long have you been taking these things, these
Right.
supplements and these medications? And when you understand these things, now you can build a foundation to grow on. And
Mm-hmm.
so you start to do things that are more so wellness focused, not just dropping weight, but wellness. And so
Right.
things like getting an adequate amount of sleep, whether it's 7 to 9 hours or maybe 6 at the minimum, walking. Walking, a lot of people look at that as, oh, I'm going to get 10,000, 15 steps in just to lose weight. But these are
Mm-hmm.
things that strengthens our heart, you know? And so you want to be walking on a weekly basis and on a daily basis. And then with the nutrition side of things, that's where a lot of this stuff really helps, because when you focus in on nutrition, not just the quality of the food, just eating healthy, because you
Mm-hmm.
can eat an excess amount of healthy food and gain weight and find yourself having type 2 diabetes.
Here you go.
And a lot of people are not aware of that.
Mm-hmm.
You can eat an excess amount of healthy starchy carbs and find yourself having type 2 diabetes because you're spiking your blood sugar and all these types of things. You're starving yourself, eating once a day, maybe not eating at all. And then the next day you're binge eating on starchy carbs all day. Like that's no bueno. that
Better
won't
write
work.
this stuff down. Like y'all getting
You
some
know,
information you got to pay for, so y'all better write this stuff down.
right? And so it's critical. Like when you and I understand everybody may not have the resources to invest in coaching and support, but you got to figure out what's going to work the best for you because what food somebody else may eat, it might not agree with you. Your
Right.
body may not agree
Absolutely.
with certain foods, and
Exactly.
Right.
so knowing not just the foods, but also the quantity, how much you personally need to eat on a daily basis to drop body fat and get yourself to just a healthier weight. And so that way you're happy. You're not worried about your health. You're not worried about, all these other things that people tend to worry about when they're, on these different medications.
Right.
Absolutely. I just want to say
Yeah.
that that is those are very good points, and that is why it is very important to see someone who is like a registered dietitian who is very well trained in especially the diet part of it, and
Hmm.
not many of us know that dietitian visits are actually covered by insurance, and they don't have to pay out of pocket. So that's something maybe if people so someone is looking for a diet or for diabetes or for whatever reason, that's covered by insurance. So that's I wanted to bring that up. That's a good
Right.
point.
And knowing your
100%.
blood type is good too.
Most definitely.
And that's another thing that I talk about because when I found out what my blood type is, because I didn't like meat, and so when you trying to Jay, when you trying to um lift, you don't have that
Hmm.
strength because of the protein, you know. And so that's the issue that I had because I don't like meat. I didn't like meat when I was when I was young.
Hmm.
I never
Right,
liked
right.
chicken, beef, or pork. So it's like you trying to eat the beans, the nuts, this and that. Now your stomach all messed up. So
Yeah.
it's like I had to eat some fish. I had to eat a little bit of turkey, just something for
Hmm.
the protein because people don't understand that protein is something it's very like important as you try to, lift weights and try to build muscle.
Yeah, 100%. A lot of people tend to they jump on these different types of diets, whether it be veganism or the keto. But I did a live Instagram live maybe a week ago, and I talked about you have these different levels of nutrition. So you have just quality food, right? You eat quality food, eating healthy, but a lot of people stop there. But then the second layer is how much, the quantity, right? So how much are you eating on a daily basis to either maintain your weight, gain
Mhm.
weight if that's what you want to do, or drop weight if that's what you want to do. But
Right.
then the third layer is proper distribution. And that's
Mhm.
kind of like the macro part of it.
Mhm.
So, how much protein, what's the percentage of proteins that you're going to eat based on how much you need to eat over the course of a day, like your calorie intake? What's the portion amount or distribution of carbohydrates? Carbs are not just the rice and the potatoes, but carbs are fruits. They're vegetables too. People don't
Yep.
know that,
People,
you know?
Yep.
exactly right, because they'll look at it and they'll go, I'm not gonna eat that potato, but I'm gonna eat a lot of these beans. I'm like, that's carbs too, man. That's
There you
carbs.
go.
And if you
I had a client who doesn't he is a pre-diabetic and he doesn't want to eat fruits because they're carbohydrate, but he likes to eat donuts.
Wow.
So
Yeah,
there was a lot of education that went in, and now he's doing the right thing.
Mhm.
that's
So
awesome.
this is the number one question a lot of women want to know. What do I need to eat to get rid of that belly
Ooh. I
you
would
know,
wrote a whole
you
book
fat?
know
on that
something.
topic.
If
I hear this all the time. Oh,
if
I
I
need to
had a
lose this
quarter,
belly fat
if
in
I had a
this
quarter
amount of time.
time I heard that, I can retire right now.
Right.
Retire right now.
Yeah.
And
I
they're gonna lose
actually,
it quick too.
right. I
Let me
wrote a
see the
whole
book.
book on the
Need the book.
topic.
Oh,
Yeah, gut to abs.
cut
And
to
so,
abs. Okay.
Okay, we
I,
got We got to get that. I got to get that from you.
Yes, we got to get
Oh
it.
yeah, I appreciate it. So, but same as you, I've heard so many people reach out to me about it. Like, how do I get rid of this pudge? How do I get rid of the muffin top? How do we get rid of the gut? And
Mm-hmm.
that's what made me write the book. And so, I don't know if y'all want me to share some secrets or not, but what
Please,
y'all want to go with it?
I'm ready.
All right, cool. So, here's the thing. A lot of people, they're just like I was when I first started this whole fitness journey. Like, I was never super overweight, but I wanted to feel confident with my body. Like, I wanted to, approach the young ladies and have confidence. And when you look at TV and these movies, what's glorified the most? The six
Mhm.
pack abs, the 8 pack abs.
Mm-hmm.
You got to have a flat stomach. You got to have a washboard, right? And so I went into doing all these sit ups and crunches, and from all these different men's health magazine, men's fitness magazine, going on YouTube University, doing ab workouts from there too. But when I would look in the mirror, like a few weeks or months later, I'm like, man, why in the world isn't my stomach, isn't my waistline like tightening up and getting cut like I wanted to? And it's because I was trying to rely on my workouts. I was trying to rely on just doing ab workouts. And that's why I see a lot of other people doing. They're like, okay, I'm doing ab workouts to get abs. So logically, it makes sense. But what you want to focus on is nutrition. And when I say proper nutrition, it's not just eating healthy, like we were talking about earlier. You got to figure out how much you need to eat per day, not to maintain, but to actually drop weight, all right, to drop body fat. And then the
Okay.
second, what was
Go
that?
ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was looking at someone that commented. They said
Uh-huh.
you only need to know about calorie deficit, and that's all. It's far
Oh,
deep. It's far deeper.
oh, yeah, Chris, he checks into my lives all the time. Appreciate it, Chris. What's up, man? But here's the thing. Like, you do have to be in a deficit, but here's the thing with the deficit. A lot of people, they stop at deficit. And
Mhm.
so they don't know what that deficit needs to look like. Some people, they're like, man, I'm just gonna go on a 500-calorie diet per day. You're gonna starve yourself and eventually start binge eating. I see it all the time,
Yep,
and gain back all the weight, if not more. And
that's
so
true.
there has to be a proper balance when it comes to that deficit, knowing what amount to eat to where you're comfortable while you're dropping weight, but not starving. You see what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
so that's the first part of the nutrition. And then outside of that, a lot of times when people they just go straight to the nutrition and they're doing a lot of cardio, they're like, man, I look skinny fat. I
Yeah.
don't like the way I look. I'm looking all mushy. Why my body don't look toned? Jay, now I need to get toned up. And that's because they're not doing any strength training. You
Mhm.
got to lift. You got to get in there and lift some weights, and that's what's gonna tone your body up. That's how you're gonna be able to not just look good when you have your clothes on, but when you take your clothes off, you
So
look the
what you
part.
need to be eating too, like just straight vegetables, greens, and
Mm,
fruits and water. That's
nah,
it.
not so. Nah, you gotta have a distribution. You gotta have a proper balance. You gotta have the proteins. You gotta have the vegetables, and you gotta have the carbs. The
Mm-hmm.
starchy carbs. All those foods matter. These things are essential. And you'll find people who they cut out one of these food groups, whether they cut out proteins or carbs or fats, they find themselves deficient and they get irritable. It shows up in their life like they're getting irritable at times, or they're
Right.
tired, or they just don't have any energy. They don't
Mm-hmm.
feel well rested. And it's because they're missing vital nutrients that they need to have in their diet. And so
Right.
all of it's important.
Right. Because I mean,
Mhm.
I like sweet potato.
Yeah,
I
you
love
can
it.
have it.
And a lot of people say, "Oh, sweet potato is good for you." I said, "Let me investigate it." So can I chop it up, and make it into French fries?
You can bake them French
Right.
fries.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
And so a lot of people they like, okay, well, if I eat healthy, it's so boring. No, it's not. It's a lot of things that you can eat. It's a
yeah,
lot of things that you can eat. Oh, you a vegan. Oh, you this. Oh, you that. It's so boring. I gotta have my fried chicken, and I said,
right.
well, you are what you eat.
That's right. Absolutely. And
Yeah.
you can enjoy it.
You are what you eat. So I wanted to, before we end, I wanted to talk about your aggressive fat loss program, the 90 days. Tell people about that.
Okay. I didn't know we were gonna get into those secrets.
Well, you don't have to
See.
get into it. I just,
Oh
I'm gonna
yeah,
show
I
you a
can give
little
a
bit,
blueprint.
little tip of it.
Absolutely. And so there's three phases to this whole thing, right? Obviously, like we were talking about earlier, before people can join my coaching program for my aggressive fat loss program, I have to understand their situation because
Mm-hmm.
everyone is starting at a different standpoint, fitness
Right.
level, weight wise, health wise, and everything, right? And so that's first off. But we dial in nutrition first because that's the fastest path to being able to drop weight without living in the gym, without killing yourself and suffering in the gym. And so something I do, not with just eating healthy, but knowing what quantity to eat, but also I use something called the cyclical method. All right. And so
Mm-hmm.
certain days we'll eat more food than other days we won't eat as much. Okay. And so, for example, on certain days where we're exercising, we might eat a little bit more carbs. We might eat a
Right.
little bit more carbs because we need more energy. We're
Mm-hmm.
expending more energy on those days. But then days where we're not, why do we need to eat as much? You see? And so we're
Right.
balancing out that energy. We're focusing on energy management there. And so that's the first part of it. And then the second phase is the training part. And so when you train the right way, when you're lifting weights, you're not only like tightening and toning your muscles, feeling stronger, but lifting weights actually going to increase your metabolism. That's something cardio really won't do. So you got to build that lean muscle mass to increase your metabolism. And so we dial in that part of it. And my members, like they get the blueprint. They know exactly what steps to take. You know, how many reps, how many sets, how much rest time, um, all the way to how to properly do the actual exercise. That way, you know, you're getting that blueprint that's going to work the best for you, right? And
Right.
then lastly, just having a game plan that you can follow, knowing exactly what steps you need to take with your nutrition, how
Mm-hmm.
much to eat, how often to eat throughout the day, based around your workflow. Because some people they may eat 3 times a day, others might need to eat five, just
Mm-hmm.
depending on their daily workflow. You know, and then when it comes to training, some people they may work out 4 days a week. Some people may need to work out two or three. And so
Right.
you got to have a game plan that's going to work the best for you. And
Mm-hmm.
that's pretty much how my members are getting such great results because, they're not having to follow a cookie cutter diet or workout program. They're
Yeah,
following
that's
something that's
good.
convenient for them that supports their goals.
Right.
Yeah.
That's it. Tell everybody that don't know you. I know a lot of people know you already, but just tell them, shout out your IG page or where they can find your information so they can be a client.
I appreciate it. You can catch me over on Instagram, J Jackson Official.
Mm-hmm.
Same as Facebook and YouTube, Jay Jackson Official. And if you feel like you need some help, you can just shoot me a message, and we'll have a quick convo.
I will.
But Monday through Thursdays, I go live at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every week.
Oh yeah,
And
I
y'all
watch.
can,
And
oh
my
yeah,
my sis, Deep D. I'm not
hey, I love
sure if
it.
I say
Hey.
it right.
That's
So
awesome.
tell everybody what exactly, because you are a registered dietitian and a certified lifestyle coach for diabetes
For
prevention.
please.
And so a lot of people need you. So tell them is just real quickly, what exactly do you do, and then where they can find you.
So yeah, so you can find me at dietitian. My website is dietitiandirect.com. You can find me there. You can book an appointment. I take insurance. So like I was saying earlier, dietitian visits are covered by insurance. So most likely you won't have to pay. And I accept major insurances. So, and I practice out of North Carolina. Um, So anyone interested in a dietitian service in North Carolina, I'll be happy to take on the clients. And my specialties are pre-diabetes, diabetes, weight management, gastric like Crohn's or ulcerative colitis, hypertension. Anybody who's a vegan and has any other issues, I specialize in that. So yeah, so overall, if any lifestyle changes or any health conditions that can be prevented by diet, I can take care of you guys. So check me out. I'm on
Yeah,
Insta as well.
I
That's
will check
awesome.
you out. And your book too, Jay Jackson. So where can they go? They can just go on your Instagram to get the information about your book as well, right?
Uh, they can head over to Amazon. So,
Okay.
this is my first book, Gut to Abs. You can find this on Amazon, the physical or the digital copy, right? And this is all about the 18 secrets to flattening your stomach. Whether you want a flat stomach, get rid of muffin top. If you want a six pack, right?
Okay.
And then if you're looking for, I notice that a lot of times people are doing so many different things with their diet and their workouts, and they're
Mhm.
not seeing any results. And they're making some mistakes, some hidden mistakes that they're just not aware of. And
Mhm.
a lot of it's different misconceptions that are in the fitness industry. Like for example, people say, "Hey, well, if you don't do fasted cardio in the morning, you won't lose weight." That's not true.
Mhm.
Or if you don't eat every 2 hours, your metabolism is going to go down, and you're gonna keep fat. Not true. You know, these are things that a lot of people are just not aware of that I share in this book, and so you get 14 other ones in there.
Okay.
But
So
this one is lies, lies, lies. 16
I
big
will
fat
be
lies about weight loss.
because I need that. And so I just want to thank both of y'all
Yeah,
for being here, just being here with me on this podcast because it's very important for the information that you guys, give out and what you do is very important right now. It's a lot of people that need this information. So I would love to do a part 3 if y'all want to, because a lot of people like, hey, we need some more information. So you
yeah,
guys, go to their websites and talk to them if you need them, and hopefully we'll, they'll be on the show again.
yeah.
But
Absolutely.
yeah, so I thank you all. Y'all have a good day and have a blessed day. Love you
Awesome. You too.
all.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
For having
All right,
me.
now.
Bye.
All right. Bye bye.